Emergency management, anybody in there? Emergency management, is there anybody in there?
What do you want?
Sir, there's been an evacuation order issued for your area. You have 10 minutes remaining to leave, or you will be stuck in this exclusion zone. Please take this seriously. You need to leave, sir. Sir, you need to leave.
Hey guys, Janillo tagged us for a scenario of what would you do if you were given 10 minutes to get all your stuff and get out of your house. And we appreciate the tag. This is our first one, so it means a lot to us, and we enjoy how thought-provoking it is. So if you have any more tags out there, please keep them coming. First, I want to say that Janillo's situation is not unique just to him. There's lots of people who mobility isn't a first-line option for them. Whether it's family members or their own mobility, it would be better for them to stay at home until they absolutely can't. So we want to stress that everyone brings into their preparations making friends with trusted YouTubers or friends in the community that will come help you in a situation where you might need them to.
Yeah, friends in faraway places.
That's right.
We build our mobility plans into our medium duration emergency preparations, and we consider that again as an emergency that's longer than 3 days but no longer than 3 weeks, with the hopes that we could actually come back to our main location where we have all of our implements of sustainment. Unfortunately, Janelle brought up a great point there, or whoever actually started the tagging. There are instances other than a chemical spill that could result in your inability to return to the mainstay of your preparations, and God forbid there's a fire of some sort or a nuclear event that would prohibit you from returning to where most of your preparations are stored. So what we have done is we have actually tubs of we call them rebuilding kits, right, which are the basic necessities to sustain yourself for a 3-week period of time. We put them in tubs that you can get at your dime store, and it's helped us with the ability to be able to put them into a car or into some type of vehicle and to leave, because unfortunately 3 weeks trying to fit all that in a bug out bag is a little bit tough when you have children. So that's been our preparations. How we're implementing them into the plan is enough material within the buckets to sustain ourselves easily for 3 weeks, right, and then it's some key provisions in there in the event that we weren't able to return, so we could start the rebuilding process. And one thing Brad and I talk about a lot is you cannot be attached to your stuff.
Right.
I mean, there's really no other way to say it other than, and trust me, we feel that urge to be, since a gear is a mere extension of yourself, we feel that urge too, that, well, if I didn't have this part of the kit, or if I didn't have that part of the kit, I would feel weaker, or I would not be as bold in my actions, and that's where we fall back on the skill sets that we're practicing, that you can see in some of the other videos, and that's what we're hoping that we can spur up in you, is to practice these skill sets.
Core skills.
Right. So if you do lose your main provisions of your preparations, you have the ability to still have some valuable items to trade. Right. You still have the basic ability of shelter, to make a shelter, to create fire, to purify and collect water, and then to go a step further. When I sat back and thought about it, it would be great to be able to take at least a minimum of your livestock with you, especially if you had a friend in a faraway place that lived in type of a rural area where you could take those animals with you. So the start over would be not as difficult, and you wouldn't have to barter everything that you had or come up with very ingenuitive ways to start the rebuilding process if you couldn't return back to your house. But I have to tell you, it's better to be in a friend's barn than it is to be somewhere else that you're unfamiliar, or end up a refugee in some type of situation that you really don't have any control in.
In any of the events that we've seen where people have become refugees, even for small amounts of time, really terrible things can happen there. You don't have the same safety and the same environment as you do even just outside the stadium or outside the camp, or in whatever country you're in. It's not as stable of an environment. So that's one of the last places that we would ever
want to find ourselves.
Yeah,
and we would hope that you wouldn't either. Now, there are some great instances that you can find where those situations worked out for people. There was the core of the backup from a regional response to a catastrophe was excellent. People had great experiences, and thank God for them, because it was very inobtrusive to their families. But we can also find other instances where it wasn't so great for them and their families. So being in the preparedness community, such like you are and like we are, we want to make sure that we've thought out this mobility plan to the best of our ability. And if we look at the short duration emergency procedures, your 3 days or less, your core survivability skills, those you can easily transfer into your mid duration. And God forbid a long duration emergency if something happened like that on a global level where there would be no resources to help you, or at least they would be helping you quickly.
Right, you need to make fire whether it's the first day or the 50th day. And the same way with making shelter and everything else. And Jay Nola brought up another great point. That's the medical bag, as it is separate from his regular bug out bag or bug out materials. And that's really great, because although we have some medical supplies and your standard first aid kit, maybe a trauma kit inside of our bug out material, you might need to go a step beyond, and it doesn't hurt to have some extra medical supplies, whether it's long-term antibiotics or insulin for those who are insulin dependent.
Right, and it's also not a bad idea for people who have some insulin dependence to make sure that they're doing their best to facilitate friends that are close to hospitals.
Yeah, right.
Hospitals, those are very unique places. Really great people work in hospitals. We've seen some just phenomenal self-giving doctors and nurses are very professional and offer help even when they've actually have put themselves in danger. So being next to a hospital is a good idea if you have friends there, especially if you have something like insulin dependence. And Jay No made another comment, and that was he referred back to another video that we made, which was the hunt for resources, and that he wasn't really comfortable in having to live that type of lifestyle. And I personally wanted to say that I don't think I'd be comfortable living that lifestyle either. Right. However, you do what you have to do to survive, and a community means that not everybody has to partake in those type of exercises or preservation duties or missions. That it's just as important in your community or the group of people that you end up with.
The cooks.
To be able to cook creatively, to be able to hunt, gather, and grow food, to be able to provide basic animal husbandry.
Nurses, doctors.
Right, there's just so many community tasks that are of utmost importance, and that's where we would like this video to actually lead, is to go in and really think about, if you have to leave your home, and God forbid something happens to all your preparations, what do you have in your tote boxes that's going to sustain yourself for a minimum time and be able to rebuild, and what skills do you have on a personal level?
Right. And guys, Jay Nola, we hope we've answered the tag well. It's our first tag, like we said, so if we didn't, please say, well, I really wanted to see this, and we're okay with that. One thing that we had talked about, just to step back just a little bit, in that is in your planning to determine those roles. We have people in our long-term emergency planning that know those roles. They know they're going to come in to be the cook. They know they're going to come in to do guarding, because they just have skill sets that fit them there. So determining that is a big deal. And we're happy to say we're working on the next scenario today. Yeah. And a little bit into this weekend. We should have it up by the end of this weekend or very early next week. We appreciate your guys' support on that and on the channel in whole. Thank you for all your comments.
Yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
And if you've got more tags, throw them our way. Thanks.
Take care.
All right, Yankee Marshall, Hillbilly Prepper Gals, we'd like to tag you guys. We really like the direction that you guys are going with your preps. Yankee Marshall, we enjoy watching the rice bucket videos. And Hillbilly Prepper Gals, we know how much you girls love buckets. So you're tagged for a 10-minute bug out scenario. Send us over the video replies if you get them up, and we'll put them up on this page. Thanks, everybody, for watching.